Welcome back to this tutorial on programming in C++. And today we're going to continue with input and output. We're going to get into input for the first time. We've been dealing with output. That's the very basic and where everybody starts with the program. But to really make our program useful, we really have to start with input. And actually, the first thing I want to do, I want to save this file. I like the syntax highlighting, and I'm going to call this add it up. The way my editor works is if I save something .cpp, then it'll turn on the C++ syntax highlighting so that I'll have that neat coloration of different keywords, and I think that communicates well. So we just got started with that. Include iostream. We've been using iostream. That's one of the standard libraries, and it's got a really neat abstraction in it called a stream that makes a lot of things really useful when it comes to IO, which stands for input and output. So it's iostream. Using namespace, std stands in this case for standard. Int main. Again, we're using that main function to get an entry point for our program so that the compiler tells the operating system, hey, this is where you kick things off. This is what starts it. I'll start executing statements here. Now we know that we're going to return an integer, so sometimes I like to go ahead and put something about my return at the end of the function. So now I'm saying I want a couple of variables that are going to be integer variables, and I want to name them num1, num2. That's how I'm going to refer to these. Those aren't the best variable names, but cout, we've already seen this. This is when I want to print something out. I want to print something to the standard console, cout. And let's just tell our user what kind of program this is that she or he is running. This program adds two numbers, complete sentence, period. Inline. Semicolon. Don't forget your semicolons if you're coming from another language. Semicolons left off are a very common error. Type the first number. And we don't have to do that because I'm going to say endl. This endl comes from this iostream. So endl means end line, and that's going to just put a return or something like that to iostream. And here's something we haven't seen before. In this cout, that we have seen that before, but there's also, if you could imagine, a cin. And so cin says get input from the console, just like cout is write output to the console. All right, so you actually conveniently absolutely reverse things. So cin, we're going to put what's from cin like that. Type the first number, and we're going to store that first number off of cin into num1. Now, once we've done that, let's say type the second number. And again, do endl for our user so it gives a nice pretty new line. Store that one in num2. And again, cout. Here, all I'm doing is putting some space, so the output is kind of airy. It breathes. The user can look at it and see what's going on. That's all I'm doing here. And in fact, I'm just going to go crazy with it. We did it there. Let's do that. And then I think that's good. Endl, put it right there. Let's put another one there. That's not really an important part of the program, the couts, but I just want to show you I'm kind of shaping this for a user, and you can do that however you like, just so that you get comfortable using these cout and cin concepts. Okay, and finally, I'm going to say cout. So that's doing what? That's printing the value that's in num1. And I'm going to say plus there. Now, obviously, that's not a plus operator. That is a printed I'm going plus to sign. Go ahead and save this. And let's just pull like this is not the equal sign as an command operator. Line here. This is not a command. This is an, print that. Now, this is different, this last part. This part I'm going to say, notice there's no quotes here. num1 plus num2. I just put it inside of parens to make it convenient to read and very clear what we're doing. Okay. Now, I'm going to go ahead and save this, and let's pull command line up and navigate to the location. Huh. All right. Now, just like we did last time, exact same process. We're going to type ++ wall. Now, if you remember that WALL says very high level of error reporting, give me all errors is technically what it means. Now we're going to say add it up.cpp is the name of the file. There's O. And I'm just going to say AIU. Name it AIU. That'll be fine. And I'll know what that means. I'm only going to need to remember this for a minute. This is kind of like just a quick throw it together, throw it away program. Write a ton of these. Now, let's run it. AIU. This program adds two numbers. Type the first number. I'm going to type 31. And I'm going to type 82. And there, we've actually now created a useful program. Because here, we did not need to know what the input would be in advance. Yet the program did something useful. It took our inputs and actually gave us some correct information, something which we may or may not have known. We probably could have figured out with some pen, some paper, maybe our brilliant adding machines in our head that 82 and 31 together are 113, but this did it for us. That's the point. And we're just getting, one step at a time, a little further down the road toward useful things. And it all starts with being able to accept input and then converting that into some other form and returning that other form as an output. That right there is what programming is all about. And we use that process to improve our lives. Hope that you'll join next time where we're going to be getting into strings, and this will continue our exploration of processing input and output and really begin to take off in terms of our flexibility and range with what we can do with computer programs. See you next time.